Hello everyone, it's a new video from GraphQL Course. Today we plan to add TypeScript support and modular structure, and finally create automatic types definition from schema. First of all, let's copy the previous lesson folder in order just not to start everything from scratch, and rename it to TypeScript. I switch to console and go inside TypeScript folder. Let's install necessary dependencies. TypeScript package itself. Nodman will restart Node server after each change automatically. And tsnode, it's a TypeScript execution engine. It will compile and run TypeScript files on the flight for us. Let's wait until all the modules are successfully installed. And now it is time to create a TypeScript configuration file. For the moment, practically all the values will be default except modules property, which will tell TypeScript to compile the modules to CommonJS definition. Great, let's create new src directory and go inside. Here we will need one new file called server.ts. And it is time to check what we have already created. First, let's find tsconfig.json. It's a TypeScript configuration file, and we will run briefly through the default values that TypeScript has added there for us. Good, here's empty server.ts file. Here we will just copy the contents of root index.js file. Now let's switch to package.json file and update it. First, let's remove module type, as from now on TypeScript will do file compilation. And we will need a new start script. It should include Nodman for automatic server restart. The root file for Nodman is server.ts now, and tsnode package to compile files on the flight. It should have the same root directory, src server.ts. Great, let's start the server and check the results in browser. Finally started. Hello, GraphQL query works as expected. Let's get rid of redundant index.js file, as now we will create only TS files for TypeScript. Inside src directory, I create a new directory called modules. I will need to create index file there just for convenient re-export of future modules. And the hello module directory itself. I go inside this directory, and here I will create several more files. First, it will be index.ts file for convenient re-export and hello module.ts file to wrap the dedicated logic. I install GraphQL modules package. It will help me to conveniently split GraphQL resolvers and schema into separate folders. Let's examine what we have at the moment. Hello module file. Here we will cut the logic dedicated to this module from server.ts. Now I import create module function from GraphQL modules package. I will use it for hello module definition. Let's create hello module constant and assign the result of create module function invocation there. This function needs several mandatory parameters, such as ID. Let it be hello module ID. The next parameter is type definitions. Let's copy it completely from server file, like this, and paste it here. Also, we will need a corresponding resolver to this query. And we will again copy it completely from server file and paste it here like this. Slight improvements to feel the beauty. Now let's make several additional re-exports from hello directory and modules directory. It will allow me to conveniently require all my modules that I will create in future lessons. They will be available from modules folder directly within a single import statement. Okay, now I've finished with re-exports. Now let's make changes to server file. It has exhaustive code at the moment. Let's remove resolvers and type definitions. Also, we don't need GraphQL template here. As a next step, I will import create application function from GraphQL module package, and I will create a new schema constant. This constant will contain the results of function invocation. Create application function requires one mandatory configuration parameter, its modules array, and I will paste here my hello module from modules directory. Copy and insert the module. Should look exactly like this. Then I need to adapt schema exactly for Apollo GraphQL server and to reconfigure Apollo server itself to work with newly created schema. Let's start the server and check results in browser. Already started and I'm going to localhost, and GraphQL query works exactly as expected. Now let's decompose our hello module into more reusable and testable parts. I'm creating schema file and resolver file. I will close several files that are not needed for development anymore, like indexes, and start refactoring hello module. I will create resolver constant in this file. Then I will copy everything from module file and paste it exactly as is into my newly created resolver. In the module files, I will just destructure the imported resolver. Make sure that its import is present on the top. Now let's refactor schema. I will create a type definition constant here and copy exactly as is the schema from my module file. I will paste it here and also make sure that appropriate imports are present at the top of the file. I will remove unnecessary dependencies here and import my type definitions for the module. Now I'll add a bunch of dependencies to support conversion of schema types into Typescript types. Let's start from clean terminal. Don't forget to go inside the folder. And here I will create code generating YAML file for configurations. Okay, here it's created and let's go inside. For the simplicity, I won't retype all the code, but will explain what it does. First of all, it takes all the schema files inside modules directory and generates one common file with types for the whole schema, and also generates types into each module folder. Now let's add a script and check how types generation works in practice. I will call it genTypes and call GraphQL code gen with recently created configuration in the YAML file. Now let's run the script and check the results. Exactly the same approach you can use to generate types for a front-end team, so they won't need any manual work to create API type definitions. Okay, here is the global file. It contains the types for the whole schema and all the resolvers. Now let's go inside hello module and check that there is another generated type file there. Let's take this type definition and import it from resolver file. Now we are able to make our resolver strictly typed. Now let's make several adjustments to package.json. I will rename existing build script to dev and create a new start script. I will use concurrently to launch two processes in parallel. First one is to run Nodemon as it was previously. And secondly, I will run types generation in watch mode. so that any runtime changes to schema will update type definitions. Now let's start this server one more time and check that it still works as expected and we have not broken anything. Let's go to localhost and yep, hello query still works. So that is it for the lesson. We have done a great work today. Next time we will dive into queries, mutations, and schema types in detail. Stay tuned.